Get comfortable not owning your games. At least that's the sentiment Ubisoft's director of subscriptions passed on in a recent interview. Thoughts?
And we've just had the latest Xbox Developer Direct with a bunch of great game announcements. We're going to talk about all this stuff and so much more right now on Gaming News Weekly. What's up, everybody? It's time for another episode of Gaming News Weekly, the best weekly video game news show out there. Every single Monday, we're coming to you on Fruit Lab, YouTube, and podcast services everywhere, bringing you all the biggest things happening in the video game industry. My name is Rock the Red, joined every week by this man right here, Full Clip. What's up, dude? How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
All right. I got a little bit of a stomach thing going. I'm a little tired, but I'm trying to get the energy up. You know, getting that high quality H2O.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting there, baby. I've been playing a lot of games, so I'm excited to talk to you, and I'm hoping this will, this will get everything back in order in my body.
There you go. Yeah.
Gaming
as far as
heals
this past
everything.
Week or two, exactly. This past week or two, I really didn't get into anything good. I still play a lot of Grand RP, that role-playing server for Grand Theft Auto, but I think it's a good segue here to get into a little bit of news I don't think we're actually going to spend much time on, but Call of Duty. I realize that this is my Call of Duty this year because you and I have both refused to buy this year's Modern Warfare 3, and for good reason, it looks like, because they are having just all kinds of problems over there, like a new update that was supposed to fix cheating and find people using like aim bots or something with their keyboard and mouse, and it ended up like warping parts of the map and everything else in Warzone.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and disconnecting people, getting into loops where you can't even play the game. So it's a mess, and I'm kind of glad that I avoided it this year.
Yeah, good call. So you're really enjoying that GT RPG thing? It's good times.
Yeah, and it's taken a long time to come up, but it's a lot more like real life than you think, I guess.
Yeah, I've been playing a game that's very much like real life, and I'm learning a trade, baby. I'm building houses. I'm playing House Builder.
Very nice. I need to get into that. I'm about to tonight, probably.
Yeah, so it came out of early access January 15th, and it's a lot of fun. It's really simplified. So if you're into the simulation games for like really to learn like, a trade or whatever, you want it like realistic. This one is not that. It has all the parts, but like everything is done with like, the click of a button or the press of a key. It's pretty simplified to speed things up, instead of like, moving piece by piece. You're grabbing giant like pallets of lumber and you're just laying them down just super fast. But the way that it's done, like you start off and you got to go to all these different places and build houses. You start off, you build an igloo, and then you build like a log cabin. And then like, I don't know. I'm building like a real house right now in like in a suburb of Canada. And it's a lot of fun. It's really just one of those things where I really like just, checking the boxes. Okay, next, you pour the foundation. Boom, done. Next, you grab these. And it's like, it's so simple and just so effortless and fun. And and on Steam, like I think I got like 40 achievements within like 4 hours of gameplay. It's just pouring those out because every time you get an upgrade to a skill, that's how they do their achievements. It's really random, but it's a little janky as all these sim games are. There's some you could definitely tell that the developer is not, maybe they don't have English as their primary language because there's a lot of typos and that sort of thing, grammatical errors throughout. But I look past those because it's running great on the Steam Deck. I'm having no issues, good frames, and it's set up right out of the gate to use a controller if you wanted to do that, and it's just a blast. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I'm gonna build a real house soon.
Nice.
Can't
Looking
be
forward to
much more
getting into it.
difficult. Yeah,
No,
I'm interested to
absolutely
hear
not.
what we think of it. I still think, as far as the sim house games, I think House Flipper is the better one because it does get into all that stuff. Like my son was actually playing House Builder, and he was like, "Can we decorate the house?" And I was like, "No, no, but I do have a game that you can decorate the house." But I had him, going around like we built the frame for the house. You got to screw it all in. So I'm like, "Here, go do all these," and he loved it. Just screwing all the screws in. There's like 100 of them.
Nice. Sounds cool. I know this
Yeah.
one from the trailer. It seems like it's a lot more based on like biomes. So you mentioned Canada, but I think they have also like beaches, maybe I don't even know where else. What's left?
Yeah.
Plains?
Yeah, the other one I did was like on a China, like it was like some sort of like Chinese, like where the roof comes up like that, and it had like it was in China, like on some little beach or something. That was great. But yeah, I'm excited to hear what you think of it. Um, Another game I tried the demo of this. I was excited to try it when I heard it. It's a game called Esoteric Ebb, and it's one of those isometric CRPGs where it's more about reading what's going on. There's no action, you know. But this one, it's based on Dungeons and Dragons 5e handbook, but it's a comedy. Like, so you're playing like the world's shittiest like cleric, and that's like what you go through. And dude, there were so many funny parts. I was like talking to my buddies about it, and as I was playing it, I kept screenshotting the game, the dialogue, and I just kept sending it to them because every scene I was laughing out loud playing this stupid game where you gotta it's just really absurd. I don't know when it comes out. I don't think there's a release date yet for it, but it is a blast if you like that. I mean, it's like Disco Elysium. It's that style of game where it's all you're just making decisions and you're rolling dice, and it's all based on skills and that sort of thing. But yeah, that one is a lot of fun. I'm super excited for that one to come out. But yeah, I've been playing, and then I played a bunch in our new releases too. So I got a lot more to talk about. Should we get to it?
Yeah. One question, real quick.
Yeah.
Is the comedy in that game is like based really on the situations that the game has, or is it like a lot of meta, kind of self-aware commentary of like the Dungeons and Dragons gameplay?
It's based on the situations. Let me see if I can find one of these screenshots. Okay. There's a zombie that you're battling, and it says, like, you go to attack it, and it says, the slow zombie just stands there. And then underneath it, like, under one of your skills where you know a little bit more, it says, no, he's reacting. It's just taking some time. Like, it's just, like, stupid stuff like that. There was a whole thing where, like, I got stuck in, like, a pipe, and, like, the options, like, to crawl into, like, this pipe, and the options were to, like, push harder. And so I would push harder, and then, like, it kept saying, like, that's not working. Do you want to push harder? And then I would click yes, and then it would say like, oh, now you're not. And then like it had me choose the option to push harder like 10 times before it was like, okay, it moved on. So it's just like that stuff, like where it just overdoes the comedy. I love that stuff.
Yeah, but, it does sound kind of meta in a way, because I've always heard that if you're like a dungeon master, your players never do what you want them to do or expect them to do, or they do the exact opposite.
Yes. So I initially sent it to my buddy who's the dungeon master of our D&D game. And I was like, dude, you would love this because you don't have to deal with these dumb questions. You get to ask the dumb questions. So you are absolutely correct. But all right, let's move things along. Let's get into our new releases from last week. All right, first up, Sovereign Syndicate came out on PC, PS5, Xbox X on January 15th. Now, this is another one that I've been playing. It's another isometric CRPG. This one is a little bit different, though. It's a steampunk, like it's a Victorian steampunk CRPG. Same idea, though, where it's just all you're just reading. It's like a visual novel kind of thing, but you're making the choices. But instead of dice for this one, it has tarot cards, which is a cool little change up. So you flip a tarot card, and that's whether you pass or whatever. Same idea, though. You have all these different skills that if you upgrade them, it changes the outcome. This one has 3 characters. You start off as like this minotaur, and it's like a mystery you got to figure out. That's where I'm at now. I'm only about 2 hours in. This is from I got a review copy of it, so I got to get back to it. I've been just playing. I think I just played House Builder too much. I intend to get back to this and at least try to get further and get my first impressions out. But so far, the story is great. The writing is fantastic. The visuals are great. I'm enjoying this. If you're a fan of that style, again, very Disco Elysium, I definitely recommend this. It's a cool setting with great characters. So, yeah. You ever play any of these games?
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think of what Disco Elysium is.
It's considered to be one of the greatest games like of all time, and I've still never played it because I've been waiting. It's like, I don't know, it's like a 60-hour game or whatever, and I'm like, all right, I'll get into it eventually. But that one you play as like a detective, and I think it might be a little bit futuristic, and you make these decisions, and everything is just choices. It's just you read the thing, and then you make a choice, and then you read the thing, and there are dice rolls and that sort of thing. But yeah.
So you think we'll see a lot more in this genre heating up with the CRPGs?
Dude, it really does seem like that already with just these 2. Like, how often do you talk about these, these type of games? And I'm playing 2 right now. So yeah, it definitely feels that way. I think they're riding the high of Baldur's Gate with the, people are more comfortable with that. And again, Disco Elysium being widely considered to be one of the greatest games of all time. So, I do think we'll see more. Now, they're definitely not everybody's cup of tea because there is no action. You walk around and you look for things, and that's pretty much it. All right, next up, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown came out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, XS, and the Nintendo Switch. This one we talked about a little bit last week with the demo. It's a Metroidvania platformer style game. Great combat. You parry, you dodge, you have these time powers that you either use to parry or dodge or attack. And it's all based on this Persian mythology. So it's a lot of fun. One thing, as far as like the Metroidvanias go, one thing that this does really great is it allows you to kind of leave a marker where you have to, like, you can't get yet until you get another skill. So you could take, like, I forget what they call them, but you basically take like a screenshot of the area and leave a marker for when you have the ability to like fly up somewhere or do something. And it's a really cool idea. You're not looking for those spots later on in the game. You know where they are. So that was fun. It's getting great reviews. I think it's like in like the high 80s, 90s on Metacritic. So it's good. It's good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because I've played a lot of games that do that. Like, you're gonna have to unlock something in the future and go back, and you almost know that you're lacking that ability the first time you go through that level,
right?
And you realize, like, okay, if I want to complete this game, I'm gonna have to go back and do it all. But I've never heard of one that really does that, so that's kind of a cool feature there.
Yeah. My buddy's super into Metroidvanias. I haven't heard his take on this one, but I think he's like played like every single one of them. But I'll have to see what he thinks about that feature because that's a cool idea. Next up, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered came out on PS5. This is just just exactly what I said. It's a remastered version of The Last of Us Part 2. It's got graphical and technical enhancements. It's got full DualSense controller support. And then it adds a bunch of new stuff too. There's like this roguelike survival game that they added to it called No Return. And then some lost levels that are like these, I don't know if they're partially completed, but you get to play through them. And then on top of that, there's like developer commentary that goes through as you're playing it. And I was like, what a great idea. I always used to love like director's commentary on DVDs. And I miss DVDs specifically for that reason. So yeah, it's and then on top of that, there's another one, guitar free play. So you could just play the guitar in the game if you want.
All right.
Go. Yeah. You ever play Last of Us?
No, watch the show though. So I'm
Mm-hmm,
really like
mm-hmm.
on the verge of picking up one of these remasters.
There you go. It's you are who it's meant for. Play it on your nice PS5. They'll switch it. They'll come out on PC eventually.
Yeah.
All right, and the last one, the one everybody's talking about, Palworld, came out on PC and Xbox on January 19th. This is an early access. Do you get a chance to check this one out?
I've been watching it. I've not bought the game though. I want
Okay.
to.
Yeah. I've been playing it on Game Pass for maybe like I think like 4 hours in. And so it's basically it's a survival game. I hear a lot of people comparing it to Ark. Um, but I'm not a fan of that style of game, the survival game. So I want to, I want to be in the conversation. I want to talk about it. And so I forced myself to get in there. I played with my son, who loves Pokemon, and he was really excited. He's terrible at these survival games though, because he just wants to run around and see all the different creatures. Dude, kids running right over the things we got to collect.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just pick those up as you're running by. Pick them up, and then like you have these pale spheres to like capture the things, and he's just chucking those out willy nilly. And when you throw them, you lose them. And I'm like, do you need to knock it off?
You gotta learn to grind.
Exactly. So, yeah, basically it's a survival game. You collect these pails, you put them to work, building things in your base or doing whatever, or you could eat them if you wanted, which is a little morbid. But one of my favorite things about this is that the different pails that you collect have different things that they can be responsible for in your base. Like the fire-based ones can, cook your meals or start your fires or whatever. And the other ones can, help build things. And I like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I think that's going to be really cool. And the whole time I'm playing it, I'm like, dude, Full Clip would love this game because it is like stuff that I know you're into. So definitely check it out. I think it's right now it's $27 through Steam. And then I was reading today that the version on Game Pass that I've been playing is like 3 to 4 months outdated from the one that's on Steam. Tons of updates and stuff to the PC one that the Game Pass one does not have. And that's ridiculous. Like that's
right.
That's just Microsoft like, whatever. We need to get it out there. Let's take it and put it on our service. So I don't understand why, but
yeah, and that's not great because it is an early access game. It's not a AAA. I've heard that there are quite a few bugs here and there, and 3 to 4 months outdated. I'm sure there are more bugs with that version.
yeah,
So that's good to know though, because I was thinking about getting it for PC, but it's like, well, what if I don't like it? It's half the price to try it out on Xbox.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So yeah, I don't know. Take a look to see what the differences are. I think definitely stuff with the menu and the UI have changed, but I don't know exactly how different it is. But it was annoying, and I'm like, maybe I'm just gonna buy it for like, my kids enjoying it. I'm like, I was bringing me around on the whole survival thing. I like the idea of it, but it's definitely a grind for sure. Like, and then looking at all the levels until you could get like, they show Pokemon with machine guns, right? Dude, you gotta play a long time before you're getting machine guns.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I watched some streaming of it, and it looked like a real grind fest. They were just kind of standing around a workshop, working forever, having to like hold the button in order to craft this thing.
Yep.
But yeah, I love the concept of that. I love like that what are they called in this game? Just monsters?
Pals.
Pals. Okay, so the pals like actually have some usefulness based on their type. It would be like having Charizard like run your blast furnace to smelt iron to make, in this case, your guns. I wish Pokemon would come out with something, and maybe they'll take a hint here. They're not afraid to get a little gritty. You've seen like the Detective Pikachu movie, but then the game's nothing like that. The game always has to be E for everyone.
Exactly.
I kind of wish they'd explore that grittier side in a more teen to adult centric game.
Yep. Yeah, and this one is rated teen. And it's exactly like the Pokemon that you and I want. Like it is really that. Like it's fantastic. yeah, Pokemon fans are really getting upset at how much it's copying Pokemon. I actually was looking at an article today. I think it was on IGN, and they were linking all these tweets with people with showing pictures of one with arrows, and then the pictures of this one and saying this should not stand. Now I don't know if the makers of Pokemon would ever do anything about it. There's definitely some very, very, very close similarities.
I'm sure there's got to be, because there's 800 Pokemon or something like that.
Sure.
They're making them out of trash bags and stuff. Yeah, I think there's going to be some carryover no matter what monster game you're talking about. I don't think that they have a lot of legal ground to stand on if they were trying to do something about this. I do. I like it though, and I hear that there's no evolution in this game. That there might be a little bit of crossbreeding that works out there with some of the pals, but no evolution, and that's a key point of Pokemon. And yeah, I don't know why Pokemon fans would be mad at the existence of something similar.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, it's been an overnight sensation. I think it sold 2 million copies on PC, and I think it broke into the top 10 most concurrent plays on Steam right away. I think it had 850,000 people playing it at once. So pretty crazy. And we were wondering if it was legit. I guess so. Guess it's legit. And this is just early access,
Oh yeah, they specifically came out in an article and said, no, it's not a scam. Which is not always a promising sign.
Right. And I think after, what was it, the day after whatever, the day before, that kind of survival game where promised so much. I think people were happy, and excited for a survival game that did promise all these things and was legit. So good on them. All right, and that's it for our new releases. We went from a barren wasteland to just a ton of new games, and there are a few other ones that we'll cover later when we talk about the Game Pass games. But before that, let's make it official. Let's talk about our news of the week. All right, first up, Xbox had a brand new developer direct. They showed off a bunch of games that we were, wondering where they were. And we finally got some information. The first one being Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was officially revealed. First of all, are you a fan of Indiana Jones?
Not particularly. Becoming more of a fan as I see more trailers of this.
Have you seen any of the movies?
The old ones, yeah, back in the day. But I was just a little kid, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Sure. Yeah, growing up in the Indiana Jones era, I was a huge fan of Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade was one of my favorite movies for a long time when I was younger. And then, the ones after that, the last two, we could just forget those even exist. Which is great. Now we have this new game coming out, and it's set in between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade. I'm not a fan of the name. You always have Temple of Doom, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and the Great Circle. It's like a Sesame Street thing.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. The gameplay looks dope. It's a first-person Indiana Jones game. The guy looks Indiana Jones looks great. Looks just like a young Harrison Ford. Sounds just like him. I'm a big fan of this. A lot of puzzles. A lot of just adventuring. You're whipping everything. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I saw that the whip can be used for traversal and as a weapon. That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm definitely. This one's definitely on my list of anticipated games. It's supposed to come out sometime this year. No release date, but it immediately, as soon as I saw this, I was a little skeptical. I was nervous, but they started showing it, and I'm like, it's a movie. It's an Indiana Jones movie that that we could play.
Yeah, I think the executive producer on it or director is Todd Howard. So there's a little bit of skepticism after Starfield.
Sure. But it definitely looks more like just a straightforward story. like a movie. You know, kind of like the Uncharted games, how those are just
Yeah.
like 5-6 hour movies that you basically play through. I like those games. I don't need to have all these branching things that go on for every, you know, they don't do anything. You know, I want substance over, you know, this mass, this giant nothingness. They also showed off new trailer for Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga and a release date, May 21st, 2024. That's another game. I've been playing the first one finally. I got to get through that. I got until May. But yeah, that one, it looks amazing. It looks just as good as the first one. I mean, even better. The first one came out a while back. But that, for its time, was graphically above everything. But now, this thing, it looks insane. All new combat, audio design, all this stuff. And then we got to look at Avowed, which I've had, you know, questions about. I've been excited for it. It's from Obsidian Entertainment, and this is set in the same universe as Pillars of Eternity. Did you watch this trailer?
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on this Avowed trailer?
It honestly doesn't do anything for me because we keep talking about how many games there are that are just like this. You've got a gun in one hand, magic in the other. The only difference is this one has a magic wand, which that seemed interesting.
It did seem interesting. But you are absolutely right. This one, it showed off the gameplay, and it doesn't look good. Like, it just looks average at best, you know? And now with all these games coming out, and it needs to be above average. The attacks, like, didn't feel like they had any weight. You know, you would do something, and then the thing would kind of just, like, either, like, fall over or not. Like, it needs some fine-tuning. Hopefully they can do that. But right now, like, I'm worried about this one. Like, it's definitely got that, you know, that Fallout emptiness in the NPCs and stuff too. Like, they showed them, you got the branching, you know, choices, and it's just I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they can fix it up. It's supposed to come out sometime in the fall, but yeah, for me, it needs a lot of work before it's going to be great. They also showed off Visions of Mana. That's coming summer of 2024. We got to look at the combat and that sort of thing. It looks very cute. Looks like a nice, cute RPG. And then last up, Ara History Untold. It's a strategy game coming out this fall from ex-developers of the Civilization series. So not my cup of tea, but it looked cool. It looked like they're doing a good job with it.
Still looks a lot like Civilization, so I'm sure fans of one will move to the other without a problem.
Exactly. They all look the same to me. All those games.
Even the one with beavers, Timberborn.
Exactly. That one, the same. I can't tell.
Oh.
Yep. I have beaver blindness. All right. That was it from the developer direct. Without leaving the Xbox realm, let's talk about the new Game Pass Wave 2 announcement for January. Some exciting games. So Those Who Remain is out now. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank came out January 18th. This is another day one game. You ever played the Turnip Boy games?
Commits tax evasion.
Yeah.
I really want to, but I haven't made it around to it yet.
Yeah, it's a fun game. This one, I think I was reading that it's different. I think it's more of a roguelike, but they're fun. They're stupid and fun. F123 also came out January 18th. Palworld, day one on Game Pass. Go Mecha Ball comes out January 25th. Another day one game on Game Pass. This one, it looks really interesting. So anytime you got pinball physics in a game that it's not pinball, like, I'm in. So the synopsis of this one: load up and roll out in this twin stick shooter with roguelike progression. Blast your way through arcade style levels using pinball style physics mixed with an arsenal of devastating weapons. Defeat waves of enemy bots, battle big bosses, and upgrade your mech between runs. So Yeah, that one sounds like one that would be right at home on the Steam Deck. So I'll probably check it out on Game Pass, and if
Yeah.
it's dope, I'll buy it on there. Brotato comes out January 30th. That's a fun vampire survivor style game. And then another day one game, Persona 3 Reload comes out February 2nd. And then Anuchard comes out February 6th. I don't know what that is.
It's like a pixel-based shooter.
Oh, gotcha. Cool. And then leaving this month, Hitman World of Assassination and F1 2021. So yeah, another amazing month with Game Pass.
Yeah, good variety.
Great variety, and
that's going to do a world of for Palworld. That's going to be a big deal
for sure. And then this month alone, 4 brand new games on the service day one. So that's pretty awesome. And yeah, absolutely, Palworld is gonna get some subscribers for sure. All right, and not to be outdone, PlayStation Plus, they're bringing their own day one game next month. Foamstars is going to be a PlayStation Plus release when it does come out February 6th. Did we talk about Foamstars?
We talked about it in the past.
I tried the beta when it was out. I don't know if we talked about my impressions of it. It was crazy. I couldn't figure out what was happening, and I was getting destroyed by the other players. But it was fun. Like, I wanted to keep going back and getting destroyed more because it, like the abilities. I wanted to try out all the different abilities. Each one had, different things that they do to cover the world in foam. Yep. But yeah, it's a 4v4 third-person shooter developed by Square Enix. Players will use foam to build new geometry within the play space. Use said foam to traverse around the map quickly and create vantage points to take out opponents or help defend from enemy attacks. A wide array of characters are available to use, each with their own unique foam gun and skill set to fight. So, yeah, it's going to be on PS4 and PS5 on PlayStation Plus, February 6th.
Yeah. So, if we're gonna call it what it is it Splatoon that's on Nintendo Switch? That like this is kind of Sony's answer to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of like Splatoon, but it looks like you're at a rave when you're playing the game.
Exactly.
When I read the description, it said, or maybe it was even the trailer. It said like you use this foam to add elements to the world, like traversal of the world. So are you building like staircases or something, almost like a Fortnite kind of thing?
I don't know. It allows you to go much faster than if you're just like on regular foamless land. I don't know what that means though, as far as building out things.
Yeah, I saw at least people were like surfing, and it looked like some of the foam that they put down was like a big lump, and they were able to kind of ramp off that lump and go fast.
Yeah, I don't know. I did just recently see an article that was like, this is not just Splatoon. Like that was the creators were like, no, there's so much more. But it definitely is very similar to that. But I also agree that there is a lot more with the abilities and that sort of thing, and what the whole premise of the game is. But when you're, when you need to traverse a level because of different colored goo you're spraying down, you're going to get comparisons to Splatoon. So, but yeah, no, it was good. I'm excited to be able to check it out without paying for it on PlayStation Plus. And also it'll help get that immediate player base, which these live service games don't always have,
Yeah.
All right, next up, Until Dawn is becoming a movie. Now, it's weird. I mean, it was a movie that you played. Did you ever play Until Dawn?
Yes. It even has like game. Rami Malek and other known actors.
Yeah. The cheerleader from Heroes, whatever her name was. I loved Until Dawn. I thought it was an amazing game. I thought it was a fun story. Wendigos are terrorizing a ski chalet or something. It's been a while since I played it, but it was super fun. And if they could make it, even scarier on the big screen, I think it's going to do really well.
Yeah.
It's, let's see, filmmaker David Sandberg. He was the Helmer to Shazam. And then Gary Dauberman, he was the screenwriter behind It, Annabelle, The Nun. He is doing writing the script. So some names on there.
Yeah. So I'm wondering though if this will have like the same appeal as the video game, because horror movies are a dime a dozen these days. What makes this special was that it was like open ended, so you could play this game over and over and have 10 different endings, or you end with different people alive and dead, depending on how you played and mistakes you might have made, choices in your actions. You can't really do that through the movie unless it's going to be some sort of like Netflix deal, which would be cool.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah, I think, if it has a good story and it's the same style of ensemble horror film where like people are just getting picked off left and right, like, yeah, sure, have like one or two make it out. When I played it, I think only one person out of the whole gang survived. I felt really bad. So we played it again, and then I think it was also just one person, maybe a different person this time. But yeah, that's one I could go back to and play all the time. My wife and I, we would take turns where we would pass the controller back for her. She would control the female characters, I would control the male characters. So it was a lot of fun. Get comfortable with not owning your games. This is a quote from Ubisoft's director of subscriptions, Philippe Tremblay. He did an interview with GamesIndustry.biz talking about, the digital future of games and what's going to happen with physical media. And this is one of his statements about there. And I mean, I'm part of the problem. Like, I buy almost entirely digital now. And when I start thinking about stuff like this or reading about stuff like this, it's kind of scary that games that we're playing can just go away. Games that we think we own can just go away. So
yeah, it's crazy. Most people don't come out so blatantly and say things like that.
Right.
I mean, I think he's talking a lot more about subscriptions, but you're right. It does go right in, like, with the digital content, because we have fewer and fewer options these days. A lot of games don't even come out in a physical form. So the only option we have is to buy them digital and download it to your console and then hope that it's on that console as long as your hard drive survives.
Right.
Yeah, it's a mess, but like it's not like we want that to happen. It's just the consequence of, I don't know. It's easier this way.
It's much easier. Thing. Yeah. I was always a big proponent of physical media up until, I used to collect DVDs for a long time, dude. I had hundreds and hundreds of DVDs, and then I discovered that it's just as easy to stream, through pirating ways for a while, and there's times where I would like be sitting on my couch trying to find a stream of a movie I wanted to watch, and I'm literally looking at the movie on my shelf, and I'm trying to find a stream of it because I don't want to get up, put that movie in. And then I think for me, during the pandemic, I just started ordering games digitally, and then I was like, this is amazing. And then I upgraded my hard drive, and yeah, it's just so much easier.
Yeah. Well, this is part of what he talks about in there, that the comparison to CDs and DVDs, how we've all gotten used to not having that. But I think that's short-sighted, and I feel like it's almost reversing. Not everybody's going to be on board with that, but I've been buying more DVDs because when I want to watch that particular Quentin Tarantino movie that I want to watch, I don't want to have to figure out which service it's on, figure out if I already had my free subscription to that or whatever for a month, or pay, YouTube $20 to rent it. It's getting so consumer unfriendly in that streaming business with movies that it's now easier to go out and buy the DVD at a Goodwill for 99 cents.
Right.
And I've been personally selling VHS players and old VHS tapes. So there's almost like a taste for that nostalgia coming back.
Sure, absolutely.
And we'll probably loop back around at some point with the games.
I think so. And I think it's going to be like, so with me, I've been thinking about buying more DVDs, and part of that is coming back to what we talked about earlier, the commentary, the special features, the deleted scenes, like you don't get that. And I don't understand why in, talking about movies, why can't you put an option to like have like a director's commentary on when you're, streaming something over Netflix or Prime Video? Like it seems like it should have happened by now. I guess maybe there's just not a big enough market for that or people that want it. But and with games, like games, it always is people buy the collector's editions that come with the cool collectibles and stuff like that, I don't know. But I do think you're right. I think it's going to come back around at some point. I know, like Best Buy just announced they're stopped selling all like physical media, right?
Yeah,
I think
and
Walmart?
there's a place called like Games or something in the UK. It seems like our equivalent to GameStop. They're no longer going to be buying used copies of physical media.
Yeah. I think Walmart's stopping selling video games or something. One of those things. I don't know if it's DVDs, but yeah, it's pretty crazy how the shift. But then you think about games like that don't even work. Games that you may have owned that don't even work anymore, like Overwatch. This is a game that you paid for, and it doesn't work anymore. Let alone, you have the physical copy of that, and they just stopped it. So it's like it could go both ways. They're like, listen, we're just getting rid of it.
Yeah, even like Multiverses. I know that was supposed to be early access, and we're in that in between period. But people spent a lot of money on that game, and it's just gone.
Just gone. Yeah. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. Like we're talking about now, like so Smite 2 is coming out, and they haven't announced a date, but they're talking about Smite 1, like all your purchases, all your skins and stuff won't transfer over. And my wife has spent we'll say hundreds of dollars on skins in that game, and she's gonna lose them all. Now the silver lining with that is they're on Unreal Engine 3 on Smite 1, and the game's buggy. They can't fix it. And they're moving to Unreal Engine 5, and it looks gorgeous. It's going to run so smooth. Like that, you got to weigh the good and the bad. Like, sure, you're going to be losing your skins, but you're going to get this fixed game that looks beautiful and runs flawlessly. So, so that's a separate thing. But, it is one of the things where, like, that game's going to be gone. Smite 1, once after a little bit, they're just going to get rid of it. All right. Anything else you want to chat about?
One last thing to tack on to the end. Congrats out there to Peanut Butter the dog for beating an NES game. Almost got the world record speed run.
A real dog?
Yes. Oh. The dude trained his dog to play on this pad controller, and he'd give him treats if he, held down the button for the right amount of time, and he completed that game. I don't know if that's the first time ever that a dog has like completed a video game, but
which game was it?
Gyromite. I wasn't familiar with it.
I love it. I have to look this up. I'm not familiar with Peanut Butter the dog. I thought this was like some YouTuber you're talking about, which it could be.
Yeah, true. He might be. Yeah, he might be streaming. He might get a deal on a Kick or something.
Absolutely. All right. Well, there you have it. Thank you so much for checking out this episode of Gaming News Weekly. Make sure to check out our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok. You find all the best bits over there. And then this show, you could watch the video version on YouTube at Pop Culture Playground or on Fruit Lab. It's a great website where you could watch gaming content and earn a cryptocurrency and buy gift cards. It's really cool. It's not a scam, I swear. And then full clips on YouTube at GameFAQs, GameFAX. You posting anything? You doing any more videos? I know last week you did one, first one of the new year.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, hopefully getting into the home builder or house builder, whichever it was.
Yes, I'll watch that. That'll be fun. And then anywhere podcasts are found, you can listen to the audio version of this. Just type in GNW and you'll have all the episodes at your fingertips. Just click on download all. Start at the beginning. And, they're all canon to our rise into power. What else? Is that everything?
That's it.
All right. Cool. Thank you again. We'll see you next week with more Gaming News Weekly.